How you doing, Internet? I'm Bnuts, and welcome back to STO, the Romulan mystery. We're going into Coliseum. There are some kind of fun limitations to this mission. It would be nice if it was set up a certain way, but I guess they... Coliseum, here we are. I'm not reading any active vessels on scanners. There is, however, a debris field nearby. It's clustered around a satellite in orbit of the planet, and the composition of the debris corresponds with ships that have gone missing in this region. I'll keep scanning, but we'll need to take a closer look before I can determine if there are thalaron weapons on any of the hulks. I'm not detecting the vessel that Obisek sent us to find, but all of the ships in this debris field show signs of being affected by the same thing, a high-frequency energy beam that overloaded all of their systems. If the Reman ship was hit by the beam, it might have crashed into the planet's surface or gone adrift somewhere else in the system. I'm detecting energy readings from the satellites. If the Reman crew detected them as well, they could have tried to use it to record a distress signal. We need to be closer before I can attempt an uplink with the satellite's communication array.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Or that. We're stuck. This beam is holding us like a fly in a spider's web. We've managed to keep life support and environmental systems active, but almost everything else is offline. Nothing works. I'm not detecting any life signs on the satellite, but there is a compartment with life support. The systems operating the beam must be automated. The chief says we have enough power in the backups for one transport. Recommend we send a team over and find a way to turn the beam off. Mysterious satellite. The consoles here appear to control the beam that is draining power from the ship, but there's a security lock preventing entrance. We need to find a usable control. Locked online. Reminds me of a warp core. Disengaged. Overwritten. Process priority order overwritten. Our save mode. This console doesn't appear to be locked like the others. Whoever did this must not have thought that the console used for inventory control was important. I think I can access a backdoor into the rest of the satellite's programs from here. Convenient. The Romulan consoles are causing a lockout by forcing the satellite's primary processors to run through a series of equations and removing key bits of information from the answers, which causes the processors to lock up. If we can solve these equations and put the correct information directly into the consoles, the security lock on the satellite console should be released. I've downloaded the corrected equations onto this console for you to work out. Solve the equation. Need help? Consult your bridge officers. Evaluating numbers in the first column, numbers incorrect. Cycle left. Lock. Cycle left 1 and lock. No? I can just continue doing this until it goes green. Cycle the next set. Exit. We've solved the equations that were causing issues in the other consoles. Now we need to plug these correct values into the console controlling the security lock, and then we should be able to access all of the satellite's major operations. Okay, here we go. Overriding selection algorithm, overriding friendly safeties, forcing target selection, firing control, automated actions. 7599. Active, friendly safeties online, targeting stored, set to manual. I'm not sure if there's a way to disable whatever it is that is disabling systems on our ship, but if we can get this satellite to target something else, we may have a chance of prying our ship free. Access the scanners. Expand range. Open. Reclassify that. Access the control. Designate that. The satellite has ensnared a piece of debris near the ship. Its stranglehold on us is weakened, but we're not out of the woods yet. Critical systems are stable, but we still don't have weapons or long-range comms. Looks like it controls the satellite's power supply. Since we weren't able to free our ship by targeting something else, perhaps we can decrease the power to the satellite's weapons. Then we can break free. Update power save modes. Load economical. Targeting. How about those? We found that if the ship does not attempt to move or fire at the satellite, it will engage a lower power version of the beam affecting us. It's almost like an energy saving mode. We can use that to our advantage. We just won't have to worry about life support. We'll hold the ship stable and keep working on boosting power to critical systems where we try to disrupt the satellite's functions and free us. Alright. All operations. Controls the satellite's general operations. We've managed to minimize the power output of the satellite. I think if we keep at it, we can switch the satellite's controls over to a sleep mode that will shut down everything but life support and power. Change the state, as simple as off. Let's return to the ship. We needed to. Whoops. So this is the setup that I was hinting at before, but since we were just transported here, nothing else really doing. We're in a cage.
Fail to comply with command.
Now we fight, or we die. Make sure you pick up a melee weapon. All of your gear is deactivated, and I won't protect you in there.
I've never seen those weapons used before by anyone in the arena. I think the mercenaries who act as the occasional guard thought that those weapons might actually be worth something, unlike the beat-up ones they let us use. My best guess is that they're looking to sell them at some point when their contract here is up for some extra money.
But until we find a way to get past these force fields, those weapons don't really concern us. Get some of these. Pick up one of these.
Remember to equip your new weapon.
I got a normal batleth and a worn lurpa.
Commencing Test 1. Nopada Desert Akari entering testing area. Commencing Test 2. Releasing warrigals now.
Come on, get closer to them.
Proceeding to Test 3. Prisoner 1478, remain in the area for interrogation. Prisoner, return to holding area. Failure to comply will result in punishment.
What do you want?
What's
You
your
want to know my story? I'm stuck here in this prison, just like you. That's my story.
What led you to be here?
My name is Slamek. I am part of a resistance. Perhaps you have heard of it? About a week ago, I was part of a crew ferrying weapons from one base to another. When we passed through this system, a satellite disabled our ship. It drifted into the planet's atmosphere. I activated the emergency transporter, and a few of us were able to transport to safety before the ship crashed in the desert. We were looking for shelter and a way to contact our people when a group of soldiers found us. They took us here and kept throwing us into the arena. Now I'm the only one remaining. That is all I know.
You said you were transporting weapons. What
We
happened
were
to them?
transporting a shipment of thalaron weapons. I know that your people will not use them. We do not want to, but our fight is getting desperate. We needed to do something, anything, that would shift the tide of war. Even if that choice was horrific. I jettisoned our cargo as we were entering the atmosphere. The weapons were completely destroyed. I've seen what thalaron weapons are capable of firsthand. I could not allow them to contaminate a world not involved in my people's fight.
Any idea who brought
I
you
don't know
here?
who was responsible for this place. The trainers and the guards all appear to be mercenaries, without any clue about what's going on. They're paid to keep us in cages and look the other way. The night I was brought in, I was interrogated. There were bright lights in my eyes and a synthetic voice asking me questions. Whoever it was took care to conceal his identity.
Was that the first time you
No.
integrated?
I have been questioned by these people several times before. My reluctance to answer their questions earned me this shock collar. Refusal to help them now is quite painful. Interestingly enough, this was the first time I've been questioned about another participant in the arena. They asked how you treated me, and if you had said anything about why you were here. They even wanted to know if I thought we could become friends. Someone thinks you are very important.
Why would they want to know?
No idea what they want with us, or why they make us fight. This all seems like some sort of giant game, but there is no one in the stands to be entertained. I think there are others. I hear other fights. If there are other prisoners, I have never been able to contact them. We are kept separated and caged, unless we are fighting.
Are you trying to find a way to contact the
I do
others?
not wish to continue talking with you.
Now I recall. You were working on all those errands when we were attacked. I managed to escape on the shuttle, and some of us signed on with the freighter. As you can see, things didn't work out so well after that.
You're the only one you've been
I've
paired
had
with.
several partners in my battles. You are the only one about which I've been questioned. You must have impressed our masters. I know you have impressed me. We are kept
Any way out?
trainers carry key cards. That's the only way I know to get through the defenses.
You think we can get
Can
one?
I trust you? I can see that we think the same way, friend. A few years ago, I worked as a bodyguard for a Ferengi merchant. He had a talent for acquiring latinum. And during my time with him, I learned a few things. I was able to lift a key card from one of the trainers during my interrogation.
If you fail to comply with commands, you will be punished.
Ah, yes. Worms.
Scenario 4 activated. A Hala released.
We need more help! I'll try to free the other prisoners. You fight the worms!
Enemy target on center.
Oh, I don't need that.
Use the consoles on the sides of the arena to fight the Elder Worm!
Enemy target on center.
Yeah. I'm looking for more consoles. Oh,
Enemy target.
these ones are back.
Just like last time. Use the remaining console on the side of the arena to fight the Elder Worm.
Looking for it. There. I can't move while it's doing that.
There's another set of consoles by the metal wall. Use them while the worm is distracted. I've been hit! I can't continue, my friend. You'll need to protect me.
Come on, move it. Where are the consoles? Come on. There's one. More consoles.
The worm destroyed the metal wall! Run! That's our way out!
Romulan base? Here? What did they want with us? And what is that device?
Console. And the risk of escape or intervention testing is elevated by kernel can even escalate to level 6 trials. Goal: to develop a matrix of Alpha Quadrant species, we must determine which species can be pitted against another for maximum devastating effect to each. Tests will not be limited to sentient species, as the Iconians have tech that will allow us to effectively introduce new flora and fauna to the alien worlds. Observation. Undermaster will take some time to complete my report, but I have a few personal observations for you that may prove useful. Please consider them when you make your plans. Humans and Klingons show the greatest proclivity toward fighting when there is no chance of victory. Breaking a Vulcan's emotional control will usually render him helpless. They have no ability to process the emotions that they so zealously suppress. Bajorans will fight to the death to defend homes or loved ones, though they may reject a fight that doesn't threaten what they hold dear. Betazoids will detect betrayal almost instantly, but their telepathic senses can be overwhelmed by extreme pain or violent thoughts. This can allow an infiltrator to escape their notice. Possible wedge to break the Klingon Empire may be the Gorn. More than 77% of Gorn captives choose to help another Gorn before assisting a Klingon, even if that choice results in the death of the Klingon. Their origin are formidable in single combat, but their fractured society reduces their threat level significantly. I have been unable to separate a Trill symbiote from the host for a separate study. 2 attempts to implant a symbiote and a host from another species have failed, but the symbiote and the host died within hours. Undying are quite interesting. I request more time to study their traits in greater detail. So, they killed 2 symbiotes, even though symbiotes are pretty rare. Captured along with a small group of Reman soldiers by Desert Patrol. Interrogation inclusive. Recommend use of holographic conditioning. Single combat tests were subject was wounded on 4 occasions but survived all tests. Recommendation may be a suitable subject for team testing or alternative study where data Check key for evaluation. They've contacted me again. My associates have 2 tasks for me now. First is the destruction of the Remans. I understand their anger. The Remans are attempting to rise above their station. They're mindless slaves and they need to respect their betters. Terrace was able to control them. After Starfleet captured her, the surviving Remans developed delusions of self-worth. The troublemaker calls himself Obisek. Who is he to tell them that they can be free? Peace, the burden have the right to choose his own death. The problem were not so irksome would be almost comical. I will present Obisek's broken corpse to the Iconians as tribute. They will reward me richly for my royalty. The second task will take more efforts. The Iconians want data. They want the species of the Alpha Quadrant tested until they break. They want to know their weaknesses and how to exploit them. They want to see their strengths and know how to destroy them. I will admit that I take no little pleasure in this task. It would be quite entertaining to make some of those self-righteous humans turn on one another, or push one of those blustering braggarts from Konos until he breaks for death. Oh, and the Vulcans. I will make Vulcans weep. I will savor each tear. I know of an abandoned Coliseum in the Nopada System. We can find a way to lure test subjects there. It will take time and effort, but I am confident I can do what the Iconians want. Next is the Gateway. It appears as if whoever created this laboratory has rigged controls to an Iconian gateway. You might be able to pull some information off of the logs. Communication. Most recent communication. Our master's patient wears thin, Hakiv. The time grows short, and still you have not provided all of the species data that they require. Are you having trouble acquiring targets? I've provided you with the necessary technology to modify the satellite in the Nopada System, but your little snare is slow. What we need is more test subjects. Perhaps a small colony would be enough. I will contact you again to work out the details. Transport. Last 5 destinations: Nopada Base Delta, RW Leval, Bria 3, Dara 4, Far Listening Post Gamma. We know those locations. Gateway controls. Mismatch. Access denied. Gateway shut down in 10 seconds. Anyway, a good example of how to set up limitations for a player in a game happens in Star Wars Dark Forces.
There are Romulan Scorpion fighters overhead. They're looking for us. We need to move quickly and smartly to avoid detection. I recommend we head to the east. See that mountain in the distance? My ship crashed on the other side. It may have something we can use to signal your vessel. The search for us will only get more intense the longer we stay here. We need to get away from the arena as quickly as possible.
In Dark Forces, you get captured by some of Jabba's people. Your gear gets taken away.
There's a fighter heading straight for us. Quick, take cover in those dark rocks over there and wait for it to pass overhead. Stay still and wait for that fighter to pass overhead. If we are fortunate, they won't detect us. They didn't see us. Let's move on. I can't go on. My injuries from the arena are too painful. We need to find a place to rest for a moment.
So when you get captured by Jabba's guys, what happens is they take away all of your gear, including your armor, and they put it in a backpack you have to get to. To get to that, you have to punch out something like 3 crate dragons, plus some of the guys with 3 eyes who throw a thermal detonator at it. It won't be as strong as anything you have in the mid-bay, but it would take the edge off of Slamek's pain. That might be enough to get him on his feet. This type of plant grows in the shade. Look for it on the sides of hills and cliffs. Oh, so we can't pick it up. This plant looks like it would work as a disinfectant. This type grows in the washes of the desert. Look for it in large flat areas. There are plants all over, but not all of them are things that I can interact with. There we go. Now we can treat him.
Thank you, my friend. I'm feeling better now. I think I can continue.
Head to the canyon entrance.
Now that we're in the canyon,
Wait,
we shouldn't have
this
to
stuff.
worry about the fighters anymore. Just the local wildlife. Keep your eyes open. The weather isn't going to hold out for too much longer. We should look for a place to spend the night. I've noticed that there are things we can gather along the way to make our night more pleasant. The search patrols are moving on. We will not survive a night in this desert. We need to find shelter and safety. If we can scavenge provisions to create a camp, we'll have a better chance of reaching the wreckage of my ship alive.
What do we
I
need?
don't know about you, but it has been many hours since I last ate. Our captors gave us just enough food to keep us alive, but I can hear a pack of wild wargles. I have killed hundreds of wargles in the tests. I wonder what they taste like. I expect the wargles will probably lair somewhere near water, perhaps up on a ridge where they can leap down on prey. Let's both keep a lookout somewhere that we may find them.
Now we've got
This
something.
looks like prime wargle territory. A pack could easily hide in those craggy hills to the north and come down for water when they aren't hunting.
Sorry, dudes, but I need your meat.
That should last us through the night. Let's get into this cave before the temperature drops anymore. The temperature is dropping rapidly now.
Is that another Wargo?
This cave should protect us from the elements.
That wasn't there before.
I've done some exploring.
Oh, no, it's not.
It looks like this cave continues. When the sun rises side of the mountain, we could save time and energy by using the passage instead of trying to find a path over the mountain. Excellent. The passage saved us hours. This could be a good day. Let's find my ship. My ship isn't far from here. I think I can make out smoke from the wreckage on the horizon. There she is. She wasn't much to look at, but she was ours. And when we were flying through space, we were free. Perhaps she can help us one last time.
There's even a river over here. Convenient if you need to cool something. Straight to the ship, I guess.
We should check to see if the emergency beacon survived the crash. But in the likely event it didn't, we might be able to piece together some components to create a makeshift emergency beacon.
There is no way this vessel will ever fly again. The damage done by the fall through the planet's atmosphere is severe. If the emergency distress beacon wasn't vaporized in the crash, it's probably buried under 30 meters of rock and sand like the Singularity Drive in the cargo bays. You do find a backup generator with a minuscule amount of energy left. If you have the right components, you think you could construct a makeshift subspace beacon to contact your ship. You won't be able to do anything more than transmit a few pulses to let your crew know where you are, but it should do the trick. There's one. It's this thing. Romulans. Not the rescue I was expecting.
Did you think you could run?
It's Hakiv.
There is no place where I cannot find you. My spies are everywhere. Prisoner 1478, take your place. You did your job admirably. It is good to know at least one Reman understands who is the master and who is the slave. The loss of the listening post was a minor setback. Reman's refuge in the Dera system has been destroyed. Dozens of subjects have been tested in my arena. When the Iconians return, they will find I have done all they have asked, and more. But you will not be there on that dreaded day. This tiresome game ends now. You could have been such a fascinating test subject, but this time, no. This time I think a more direct approach is best. Ready? Aim.
You talk too much.
I apologize for Slamek's action. I had no idea there was a traitor in our midst. If his actions caused harm to you or your crew, forgive me. That was not my intent. However, your trip to the Nopada System was not in vain. Now you see. Now you know. Hakiv is a pawn of a greater power. The demons of air and darkness are here. You should report to your superiors. Tell them what you have seen here. Open their eyes to the dangers that lurk in the shadows.
I'll definitely tell them what the Iconians are up to.
Starfleet Intelligence has completed its analysis of the data you recovered in the Nopada System. There is a 67.47% chance that the Iconians are using the Tal Shiar as a way to influence the Romulan Star Empire, and that their persecution of the Remans is directly related to this. Command is considering lending assistance to Obisek and his forces, but before we come into direct conflict with the Romulans, we want to try a more discreet approach. The data indicates that Hakiv is operating out of the Brea system. Long-range sensor scans indicate that there may be a major Tal Shiar installation there. We want you to infiltrate this system, apprehend Hakiv, and destroy the Tal Shiar's base. Hakiv must not escape. He may be the only person who knows how extensive the Iconian influence in Romulan space is.
Hakiv had an Iconian gateway. Obisek was right.
Hakiv had a working Iconian gateway? Fascinating. We already knew that the Iconians survived the destruction of their home world. Now we know that they are active in Romulan space, and apparently using these gladiatorial combats as a way to test the species of the Alpha Quadrant. Starfleet Intelligence will analyze the data you recovered from Hakiv's command center. I must confer with Admiral Quinn and Starfleet Command. Conflict with the Romulans and the Iconians may be unavoidable.
Let's see what the mastery is at. I don't even have one yet. Now that I'm level 20, I should be able to get the stuff from the Gamma recruit.
Greetings, how can I assist?
Yes. I'll buy that. Buy that. Buy that. Well, buying, but... Okay, let's see what we got. Let's do Omega first. May as well get that. I believe that does it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. You can comment below what you thought. If you're enjoying these videos, leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.